What's good, guys? Welcome back to the Market Weekly Recap. And of course, I'm being joined with Leo. What's good, Leo?
Yo, yo, yo. Remember when we told you guys not to over leverage this week? Nah, I didn't do it, but market was choppy, so not a great week.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yep. And of course, we know this is Saturday, but Leo and I we were kind of busy yesterday, so we weren't able to get a video out for you guys. So we want to do today what we did have the time to. So this is going to be the weekly recap. We're going to go over what price did and maybe a little bit of forecasting, but we're going to go over majority of what price did after the midweek review. So let's get started.
Yep, let's get started.
Yeah, so on the dollar index, we have price trading lower into this down candle here. We see a nice reaction from it, which I do like. I just want to know now, is it going to start running higher or how does it want to proceed from here? Right from the dollar index, we had this low marked out for that trade lower where it did. We see a nice reaction from this level, which is nice. I just want to start seeing if it is going to be bullish. I do want to start seeing these highs get taken out. If not, I would not be surprised if it starts running lower now once more, trading into this low here, or maybe even trading into this candle more, and then eventually trading down into this low down here, right? If they do start doing that, then obviously we'll be on bearish alert. This does look like an area where it's 50-50 in my opinion. If it could, it should continue running higher, but if not, then obviously this will continue rolling over, then start running some lows out here on the daily time frame. Let's get into the lower time frame. So I do have this analysis marked out, right? Some buy side equities that I'm currently looking at. I do want to see this high get taken out. If this high gets taken out, I want to see what it does after taking out this high. Does it start running higher for this high here, or maybe even this high here, trading up into these levels here? If it does, that would be very, very solid to support the bullish narrative. However, if it runs up here and we start seeing it, getting slowly turning here, I'll be then looking for the lows down here, maybe run higher here, and then start running lower for this low down here. That is something that they could do, and then eventually continue going lower, which then will support that it's going to be a bearish Dixie. But yeah, throughout the week, we saw how price, kind of trade a little higher, sank lower, trade it higher again, sank it lower again. Eventually, Thursday opening just really, really aggressively moving very low. And then we have a nice big expansion from this level down here and into consolidation and obviously into a nice little move lower to fill in this inefficiency here, where then now we kind of close off the week, waiting to see what is going to happen the following week. All right. Is there anything you want to add for Dixie, Leo?
Yeah, so I'll work backwards, hourly and then daily, but it was crazy this week. It was very choppy to start. And then when we were making the Wednesday midweek review video, price was right around here, the 103,900 levels. And by the time we uploaded it, it already took out the target we mentioned on here. So this was an insanely fast move, which is crazy to me. It obviously took out a level of liquidity, but if you saw on the daily, it looked very 50-50, right? So very low probability. So it's been pretty hard to forecast what's been going on, especially in these times. But using the daily as a gauge, I can realistically expect them to run out this level. I'm not so sure. Let me pull up the dollar real quick, but give me a sec. Okay, so yeah, I think it could run out this as well. But let's move back to the hourly. Not hourly, daily. Where's the Yeah, the daily. So you see how we moved into this inefficiency here, this low to these highs here. So this is the only pocket of price that was moved on one side of the marketplace. Now, if you extend this in time, obviously we run up here and then swipe it two times, making it efficient. And then we move the lower really quick. So in short, here we could move lower, but at the same time, we could take out this high. So this is the textbook definition of low probability. And so this is, in my opinion, what a trader has to deal with sometimes is just kind of sit still and wait for the market to tip its hand once again. But we're doing our best here to try to work through these as best we can and make the best educated um, analysis that we can. So I was figuring dollar might head lower, but because of this movement here, but because of this reaction here, this wick, this punch into this level, and then moving away from it really quickly, saw that we could move into this high here. I don't know if my mouse is able to show it, but there's this swing high here that it could take out. So that's me.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's what I'm currently looking at as well. I just want to know what it wants to do from this area here. I did like the reaction. I just did not like how it did not take out any significant highs. That's the only issue I have with that is that, oh, I love the reaction, yeah, but since it didn't take out any highs, it kind of makes me wonder like, very interesting, you know.
Yeah, if it,
But yeah,
oh
go ahead.
sorry, if it was gonna do that, then it should have just kept running, like after this, moved up a little bit, but it
Exactly.
stayed heavy, right? So very, very slimy. So
Yeah, exactly. Very, very interesting. But yeah, let's move on from dollar index. We have Euro USD on the hourly, right? Similar Monday open, right? Came lower and then to start rallying really aggressively. I was looking for a potential short in this area here, but obviously got stopped out. So I was like, okay, that was me just getting burned, and then letting price trade around. Came down once more here, um, and then really aggressively or very slowly actually started just pushing higher. And this is where a lot of people will get, kind of taken out of the market just because this would be something where I'd be anticipating something for it to go a little lower, for them to maybe get a long position to go higher, targeting this high here. But as you can see, it was really, really choppy. So even if you did go long here, it made you really, really work for that long position because it was very, very choppy. It just kept giving, taking on its own lows, taking on its own highs, own lows. As you can see, it was just very, very choppy. And then finally, Thursday open ran higher with Dixie opening running lower. And we see a nice reaction here. And similar to EU, I want to know what happens from here. In my personal analysis, I do have the EU running a little higher, taking on this high here, and then maybe running lower for these lows down here, or even just this low here. I just want to see how it wants to work starting off next week, since we are in a low consolidation. I want to see how this plays out, right? I am looking for this high, like I said, to get taken out here, and then maybe have it roll over, and then start running for the lows here, and then maybe working towards into this low here, and then maybe just working to here if it does want to go lower, right? And that would obviously come from Dixie wanting to go higher. Let's go on into GU. GU, very similar. GU is a little bit more explosive, right? As you can see, Monday dropped very aggressively, right? Traded down into this level here, and then we have a nice reaction running higher. Price drops lower again, just consolidates here, and then we have a nice slow reaction higher, and then obviously that big expansion move on Thursday, running higher aggressively, and then followed by this very aggressive sell-off here. And once this sell-off was done, I expected it to run at least this low, but obviously it did not do that. We have a nice, in my opinion, retracement at that time. And I just wanted to wait and see, right? Consolidation here. Price opens higher, drops lower, right? Doesn't take out that low, and then starts pushing really aggressively towards this high here. I still don't like that I left the high intact here, right? It makes me wonder if it does want to continue going higher and take this high out, or does it want to just kind of start running lower now and then maybe consolidate here for a little bit and then run lower for these lows here and maybe start working its way down here. Since we did see a lot of sell side is still being respected and they're not really taking out yet. Kind of want to see what it does when it does start breaking lower, if it starts breaking lower. But yeah, for this week, it was just very, very bullish for GU, right? But we saw it was very, very difficult to trade still. right? Price drops low on Monday, price starts aggressively going up and then starts coming down very aggressively, right? You can start seeing that's very, very tough to trade in these conditions as of right now. Like me myself, I got burned from this, so it is just normal, but we just have to get back to it and just understand like, hey, these things occur and these things happen. We just have to be able to adapt and just overcome these situations. But that should be it for GU EU. Did you have anything you want to add for GU EU, Leo?
Oh, I do not actually.
Okay, sounds good. Let's move on then.
All right, moving on to crude oil on the daily. So I did some kind of reflection over the weekend or on Friday, I guess, on crude oil. I was like thinking about this price action here. It's like, hey, you know what? If it was gonna reach for this high, it probably would have done it by now. And I'm just thinking like, hey, um, why is it so sluggish here? And I'm starting to come up with an idea, hypothesis, I guess, that this might be just accumulating to go lower, to take out these sell side liquidity here, all of these. It looks like a really nice trend line. I see that as money. These lows as well. So I'm just thinking like, hey, if you look back here, right, this where they accumulated off of it to run higher, well, what if they're undoing all that here? I don't know if you can see. I didn't. I should have highlighted these series of three down candles back here. Um, but you see, it's just holding price. Price is really, really, really stuck in here, and this move should have, in my opinion, if it was going to run up, it would have done it on Friday. In my opinion, should have just taken this out into this little inefficiency that hasn't been tapped into yet, that's left here. Should have tapped into that, taken out buy side. um it did leave relative equal highs, and if it's going to do that, it's going to be a really quick manipulation, in my opinion, like up and then instantly down to like a turtle soup sell to take out liquidity and just sink. But I'm leaning way more, starting to lean way more bearish on this asset class, especially with this. I looked into this imbalance here, 25% level of it. You see these bodies is clearly just really respecting it there on the daily. And so that's an idea I'm coming up with. I'll keep you guys updated on how it unfolds. And so if we do end up going to 64 around that area, there's a lot of opportunity in here to take out pips or points from the market here, which is really nice. So instead of seeing this as whoa, why isn't price distributing? I'm starting to see it as, oh, what are we accumulating for? And that's the daily chart. So here on the hourly, see it's been very nasty on the hourly. I'm not gonna lie, it takes a lot of nimbleness and focus and just being in front of the charts full time, just staring at this to be able to pull money out of this. Um, and you see how price takes out this and it starts sinking. I would have expected this thing to keep running and pushing into premium and taking out buy side here on Thursday, Friday. But it didn't. So now I'm expecting we might move lower, 76.20. I'm going to see. This is like the last stand here. See if price respects this. It'll take this low out. If it respects this, we get a little run higher, maybe. But I'm very suspicious about that. I'm very, what is that word? Whatever. We could run out these lows and then run into this imbalance here. So that's where I'm looking. As for buy side, this is still in consideration, but it's less salient now. It's kind of like fading into the background. I'm more looking on the sell side now. As for the week, yeah, kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie. Not too much to highlight here. We're in a higher time frame consolidation. As for that, you got anything special you'd like to add, Alan?
Uh, Nothing too crazy. I just want to go back to the daily. We are still very bearish on the daily time frame, right? It just looks like as of right now, it's just kind of confirming where higher time frame is starting to kick in, where the lower time frame is starting to, be second to that. Where a higher time frame is obviously the parent, so we're watching it as crude oil starts to come lower now very aggressively, and it looks like it will stay aggressive. So I think that 60 level is definitely on the table for them, since we do have heavy news next week as well. But yeah, that should be it for crude oil. I would be very surprised if it does start coming back higher. But yeah, as of right now, it doesn't look like it wants to do that. Um, but yeah, let's
Yeah.
move on from crude oil.
Yeah. All right, moving on to ES on the daily chart. I'm looking for price to draw into this area of price around the 50-40 level on the daily chart. Not too much here to work off of. We did move higher on the week, um, moving lower in the beginning and then punching higher, um, meeting some of our targets that we mentioned on our Outlook and midweek recap video. So on the hourly, this is what we're looking at here. We saw a nice sell model complete here. So all this, and then the buy side of the curve and the sell side of the curve here with the consolidation and a move away from it. So off of this move away from it, which was really, really aggressive, taking out us into all-time highs here. The next thing I'm expecting is price to kind of come back down here. I'm thinking we move lower into the beginning of the week. I want to see how price reacts to this inefficiency here, which it was filled in, but I'm suspecting they reuse it in some form around the 50-60 to 50-50 level. And I want to see how price reacts to this this the opening level of the down candle on the daily here. And I'm also paying attention to this gap here. Want to see if it bounces off of it at OTE of this range. And that's about it for me on the hourly chart. Not too much. I don't know if you guys wanted to us to break down this sell model, but if you had any questions on this month's price action, do give us a ping on the Discord. And yeah, that's it for me for ES.
Sounds good, Leo. Let's move on from ES. Similar to ES, Nasdaq seems very, very interesting, as to say the least. All right. We have this very aggressive run higher where we showed you guys, hey, this looks like it can start coming lower here and then start punching higher. But Nas said none of that. I'm running for the highs, and that's what he did. Right. Ran really very aggressively to the high, ran up, took out buy side. Nice reaction lower. And I want to see what it wants to do from here. Does it want to consolidate here and then punch lower here? Because if they do that, I'm anticipating this as a potential turtle soup, running lower here, running out south side, and then start really aggressively running buy side. I'm not looking for this as oh, this is the high, this is the full turn reversal. I think there's a lot more it can run higher before it does something like that. And this just kind of, to me, kind of looks like where it could do something like that, right? Where it runs up buy side, runs aggressively lower. And then now I'm looking for it to just create some stop runs. And like I said, I'm looking at this low here. However, I wouldn't be surprised if it just kind of came down a little bit lower and just left this low intact and then run higher very aggressively, depending on how ES trades as well. So throughout NAS for the week, we saw how NAS kind of just traded lower and lower and lower. And before we know it, we have this big rocket, right? Big rocket that came up. And now we're looking at, hey, what does it want to do now going into next week? Since we do have a lot of news events, I'm looking for something like that where they can just start building in their coming lower, building out their positions, taking out this low here, and then very aggressively punching higher for this high here, and then maybe just continue rallying higher until who knows what, whenever they decide to stop it, and then start running lower again, filling into this south side. Just because we're entering uncharted territory, it's very, very hard to know, like, hey, this is where this is where they're gonna stop or whatnot, right? So it's just very, very uh risky and dangerous right now. I would say to put too much risk on it. Like I'm gonna go down on risk, just wanting to protect my equity, and I'm just gonna be looking at how NAS and ES trade from the opening. All right. But that should be it for NAS. Hope you guys enjoyed. Did you have anything you want to add for NAS, Leo?
Nope, nope, nope. I said what I said on ES.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. If that's it, then we'll see you guys on our next video. Leo and I were maybe considering maybe doing some live streams. It's still in consideration, right? It's still on the drawing board for you guys on our Discord, where it's a more private community. Obviously, it's going to be free. We're still trying to figure out if that's something that we want to do, since we know that a lot of people are doing that. Um, and I feel like it's an easier way to convey what we're trying to see in the marketplace to you guys than for you guys to wait for these videos. But yeah, if there's any other ideas or suggestions that you guys have for us, you can put them down in the comments or in the Discord. Leo and I will be more than happy to read those and try to help you guys out with whatever way we can. But yeah, I think that should be it,
Yep.
right, Leo?
Yes, absolutely.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys on our next video. Take care, and we'll see you guys next week.
Be
Peace.
safe. Be safe. Don't blow your account.